Okay guys, so these are my double Detolfs that I've just knocked up. I'm going to show you roughly how I did it. There's loads of different options, there's loads of different things you can do. So this is just a way of doing it, it's not the definitive way. So what I did was I went online first, and there are quite a few videos about how to do this. So do your research, make sure that you're sort of ready, because if you fuck it up, that's your cabinet's fucked. The good thing about these is because they are so cheap, is they're fairly, if you break a sheet of glass or whatever, it's probably cheaper just to buy a new unit than it is to have a piece of glass made up. So that's kind of my logic behind it. I think Etsy do a double version of a Detolf for about 250 quid, but had all the glass, I had all the wood, so it seemed a bit of a shame to just throw it away or stick it on selling sites and have someone come around and get it when, you know, I could reuse most of it. So what I did was, if you look at the top, there is 2 pieces of 18mm ply that have just bridged the gap and screwed in place. And on the bottom, now the bottoms are a bit different. What I did do was I laid 18mm ply across the centre, and the plan was that once I'd lifted it up into place, I was going to unscrew that and then go up through the bottom and screw up into the units. I decided I quite liked the stepped look. I quite like that little ridge, so I thought I'll paint it black and I'll keep it. So the plan is I will be covering that in some sort of felt, but that will be sort of way further down the line. Okay, so what we've got here is the 18mm ply strips on the top and the 18mm sheet on the bottom that's been cut to 77 centimetres by 29, and then it was all screwed on and painted black. Here we have it all installed, tops and bottoms on and the bars in, and I will show you where you need to cut. What you have to do on the wood is just cut that lip off. So if I show you with these ones, that piece where the glass sits in, you are cutting it off, and you are cutting it off tight to this edge here. Okay, not this edge, this edge. And then obviously on this side of it, you then cut this off, and then that's how we join them. We just join them together. Now, this wasn't the flattest cut in the world, so it's given me a little bit of a gap. It's not a problem. I can get some black silicone and just pump that in there, flatten it off. Not a problem. So once you've assembled them all, it's just a case of lifting them into where you want them, and then doing the usual, installing the lights and drilling any holes for wiring. Yeah, and that's it. A few things that you should be aware of is that you need to make sure that they are, I would recommend that you make sure that your units are all roughly the same age. The only reason I'm saying that is because, as you can see here, I've got a nice big bit of white filler in there I need to touch in, because that was one of the old Detolfs. And I had one even older than that, which was one of these, I think, that I painted black. It was a beach one. Now, the issue with those is the glass is actually slightly thicker and taller. So anyone who's put on these together knows that when you rest these tops on, the glass sits in those grooves. So the issue you've then got is that one panel, and I think on this one, it was, I believe this one here, is about 3mm taller. Now it all fits in the groove, but it's not fitting in as well as it could do. It's not going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about it falling out, I don't have to worry about any of that. But it's just something to be aware of, and it would probably make life a little bit easier, to be fair. The shelves, what I've done with those is just use 18mm ply. I've painted them black. Now I do a lot of figure photography with like the customs of doing things like that, so I actually painted the undersides black. You don't have to do that, but it's up to you. I mean, the thing is, you have to remember with MDF is this edge here, where every time you paint it will become furrier and furrier. What you can do is just run a bit of filler over it and that gets rid of that, not a problem, then paint it up. The wiring and everything is done the usual way, down the back, and then down a little hole down there into this unit here, where I've got a socket. So that's it really. I don't think there's anything else. You might get a bit of a gap One little trick is if you get these little earth magnets, because sometimes these doors don't quite shut properly, the magnets are pretty crap, you can use them as packers. So if the glass is sitting out at different levels, when you shut the doors, you can pack the doors out. Because what I've done is actually removed the ones from the bottom. I'm not a fan of those. And that's it. That's how I did it. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. So that's my video on how I did it. Like I say, there's plenty of other ways of doing it, but that's just how I did it. Please excuse the very, very crude and rough video I've done. I'm very new to this, but if you enjoyed it, and you have any questions, you should drop me a PM. I'm normally floating around on the groups, but you can drop me on my custom page, Darkside Customs, and I'll be sure to lend a hand and answer any questions you've got. Cheers, thanks.